There is no shortage of monsters to haunt our dreams. Like the creature from the Black Lagoon, deadly aliens from outer space, giant ants, man-eating sharks, and bloodthirsty grizzly bears. But the most fiendish, the most fascinating, the most terrifying creature of all may be waiting for you round the next corner.
Hey guys, Brandon here from Horror Movie Project. I'm here to talk to you today about a little movie called The Uncanny.
Years ago, people used to believe a cat was the devil in disguise. I'm beginning to think they were right.
No, cut!
The Uncanny stars Peter Cushing, Donald Pleasance, and Ray Milland. This is an anthology movie that's put together by a series of different stories. The first story happens to be about a handmaiden that wants to rob the old woman that she is taking care of, and she colludes with different members of the old woman's family, well, one member in particular. And she ends up smothering the old woman with a pillow. Then when she goes to rob her, the cats, they don't really take too kindly to that, and they end up attacking, and it's pretty fun. The cats just like really lay into this woman. They are just clawing her and biting at her, and I mean, like, there's like tons of cats. This is a crazy old cat lady, so there are at least 20 cats that are attacking this woman. Weirdly, through the middle of this first story, the cats turn their attention to the old woman, the dead old woman that had been smothered by a pillow, and they actually end up eating the old woman, which is really gory and really kind of a bizarre thing. But that was primarily the first story. There was a guy that the handmaiden was seeing who ended up coming back to the house where the handmaiden was attacked, and he wanted to see if she was all right or something, and he ended up dying himself. The cats, they knew what that guy was up to. The next story is my favorite. It's this story about a satanic little girl, some little girl that had her parents killed in some way, and she has to end up going to live with her aunt and her cousin. And it turns out that her aunt and her cousin are bullies. They're just not good people. The cousin gets her comeuppance, though. This young girl who likes to practice Satanism casts a spell on her young cousin and shrinks her down to size and then crushes her underfoot. It's pretty crazy. This one didn't really have too much to do with cats specifically. However, the young girl did have a black cat, and she practiced witchcraft and all that kind of stuff. Go out and save a black cat. They're not just satanic creatures. Black cats are awesome. Little side note. The last story in this movie was about a rich asshole played by Donald Pleasance, and I mean, he actually did it really well. He's an actor who wants to leave his wife and run away with a young girl, and he ends up killing his wife on set by nefarious means, and he tries to give his the role that his wife had to his mistress. Well, it turns out that things don't really work out that way. His wife had a cat, and the cat's very protective of his wife's acting lineage, and so the cat pretty much followed them to the movie sets every day, and there's scenes where the cat is cutting ropes and trying to drop lighting fixtures on actors and it's crazy. The last story is probably the most fantastical out of all of them, and we're talking about segments where cats are eating humans whole and just attacking and ganging up, and this movie's just great. It's a fantastic anthology movie that kind of echoes to the Hammer horror films from the 60s. And those movies with Christopher Lee, the old Dracula movies and things like that. However, this wasn't a Hammer movie. This was something else entirely. It, I believe, came, let me just check really quickly. Yeah, it's a French-Canadian British movie, so that's like really strange. I really don't have too many French-Canadian movies on my radar at the moment, so it was really neat to see this one. Overall, I really liked the Uncanny. I thought it was really awesome. It blew away my expectations for what I thought this was going to be, which was just another run-of-the-mill, spooky, kooky anthology movie. Peter Cushing and his overarching story did really well, I thought, and I really enjoyed all the other stories. I like using cats as an antagonist for horror. They're really effective. They're scary.
There are millions of them, everywhere, spying on us, watching, waiting. When will they pounce?
Look at her, just planning our demise.